time for the Central Florida Sports Report. Now, let's get to the show.
The party never comes to a close when we begin our nightly shindig. This is the Wednesday edition of the Central Florida Sports Report here on Bright House Sports Network from our downtown O-Town studios. I am Sean McDowell. Hope you had a great day. 50 games gone and 32 to go. The Orlando Magic finds itself satisfying the NBA's expectations, leading the Southeast Division of the NBA and winning 38 ball games so far. We are yet to see, however, what the Magic has left for the stretch run of the season. The Denver Nuggets will be the final opponent before the All-Star break. Orlando still has to play without the injured Jameer Nelson. Early moments of this game at Amway Arena, Orlando not shooting well. Michael Petrus giving them a lift, though. This jumper cuts Denver's early lead to 1 point. Stan Van Gundy really missing his point guard, Nelson, who has that torn shoulder. His offense just out of sync in this one. Here is proof. Rashard Lewis trying to back the defender down. He's whistled for the foul. Lewis, he didn't like it. He keeps his mouth shut. Van Gundy didn't, though. He gets a technical. Lewis even bumps the ref as he's being taken out of the game. Looks like an accident to us still. It's only part of the craziness you'll see in these highlights. A little later on, still in the first, Kenyon Martin spinning around Tony Battie. Bucket and foul. Magic shooting cold in the first. They're down by 7, 24-17. In the second, maybe the littlest guy on the floor can help. Tyronn Lue, acquired last week in a trade with Milwaukee. It's the jumper. Magic back to within 7. Bad shooting and bad defense will kill you. Petrus just admiring Carmelo Anthony. Magic down 17 after 1, 46-29. When you're shooting 29% for a half, it makes for a long walk to the lockers. Does it get any better in the third? Chauncey Billups with the pull-up J. Hedo Turkoglu and Anthony tied up the referees. Technical foul, the second double T of the game they've called in a weird one. Into the fourth, Magic making a half-hearted run. Courtney Lee helps out with the bomb. Magic would cut it all the way to 6 at the 77-71 mark, but Anthony a little too good to stop. The Magic sees him hit for 29 points in this loss, at home nonetheless. 82-73. Nuggets win this one over the Magic. Orlando had won 15 in a row over Denver at Amway Arena. That streak dated back to 1992. The Magic shoot just over 30% from the field going into the All-Star break on a down note, to say the least. D12, good numbers. Howard, that is. 16 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. He always gets a double-double, though. Anthony Johnson and Tyronn Lue share in the point guard spot. They combined for a whopping 9 points. DHSN's Tiffany Green recaps a weird game, talking with a very disappointed Magic team.
It looked like the Orlando Magic were at Amway Arena. Tiffany Green, Bright House Sports Network.
That is coming up Sunday night, a late-nighter, Tiffany, a 9 o'clock East Coast time to start the All-Star game. And she mentioned Howard and Lewis. Of course, Jameer Nelson would be there along with them, except he's sitting out with that torn labrum in his shoulder. No word just yet on when he will return. He's back to work on Tuesday for the Magic with the All-Star break in their rearview mirror. Charlotte is their first opponent out of the chute. Then a road trip to New Orleans is theirs on Wednesday night. In NASCAR, only the fast flourish, and when it comes to the Gatorade duels at Daytona, speed is everything. More than 20 drivers need a fast time in those twin 150-mile races on Thursday, or their hopes of making the field for Sunday's Daytona 500 are over. We begin our look into the duels, where for many it is go or go home, with BHSN's racing analyst Buddy Pittman at the World Center of Racing.
When the green flag drops on
Buddy Pittman for Bright House Sports Network.
Thank you, Buddy. It isn't merely old-timers or rookies having to race their way into the Daytona 500. It's also go or go home for drivers in their prime, such as Joe Nemechek and Boris Said, 2 household names nearly. Nemechek calls Lakeland his home. A win in the Daytona 500 would be his first in 5 seasons. He hasn't won in quite a while. Said has never won on the Sprint Cup circuit, but his days of being a road course specialist, as well as being a winning personality, they both made him a crowd favorite. Neither guy is guaranteed a spot in the 500, so a strong run in the duels on Thursday is mandatory for them.
So we can make the race.
2 fast football notes to share. The Jacksonville Jaguars are seemingly saying, my bad. The Jags release wideout Jerry Porter as well as corner Drayton Florence on Wednesday. The Jags spent more than $23 million big ones during the last offseason, bringing both of them in to be high-profile guys, and neither lived up to high-profile expectations. Both players are said to have been troublemakers in the locker room, too. The Jags went 5-11 in what was supposed to be a big 2008. And to nobody's surprise, Brett Favre is retiring again, and this time it's apparently for keeps. Favre and his agent Bus Cook confirm his plans to hang him up on Wednesday after 18 seasons in the league. It's the second time he's called it a career after spending the bulk of his career with the Green Bay Packers. He spent only 1 year playing for the Jets. Favre retires as the league's all-time leader in touchdown passes thrown. When we come back here on the Central Florida Sports Report, the Bright House game of the week is a good one. Evans meets East Ridge. We'll tell you who turned out on the good side of that one, along with Tom Morgan and Bill Buchalter. Also, yours truly talks NASCAR with the doctor of racing, Dick Berggren from Fox Sports. But right now, it's time for our own Session O trivia. Here's your question of the night. When did the Magic record 60 wins in a season? You have 3 choices. Only one is correct. We'll tell you which one it is later on during the Central Florida Sports Report on BHSN.